house believe that too much violence in media causes violence in society because the development of technology and information is increasingly rapid and increasingly unstable at this time. The media must plays very important role in everyday life. In fact, almost of the world's population is currently literate in media, especially electronics such as internet, TV, smartphone, internet radio, and many more. Violence is a form of control and domination. This dominance is clearly seen in economic manipulation through slander, armed violence, and insult using words or other symbols, and violence in the media become difficult to eliminate because violence itself is something. Violence directly generates aware and revolution. Almost at the same time, violence in the media becomes so easy to enter people's way of thinking. The steps that must be taken to reduce and negative effects of violence in the media of human life or that communication ethics must be upheld. Violence as a commodity must be opposed through the rights of media consumers or by promoting media literacy. I don't agree with this notion because social media is social with each other and online which allows a place a well-formed community. And we as users are also able to control ourselves so as not to fall into negative things. We can use social media wisely by, for example, opening useful website, creating positive content about education and other educational things, so that there are no more words about social media as a place of violence. In using social media, you must use your mind so that negative things can be avoided. In addition, the positive impact of social media is that it makes it easier for us to interact with many people. Association, distance, and time are no longer a problem. It is easier to express ourselves. Information dissemination can take place quickly. Costs are cheaper. I don't agree with Ulfah's opinion because Ulfah said that from social media we are creative such as creating content creator. But in my opinion, it cannot be granted let alone it can make negative comments like this and can misuse mental especially in society. It can also generate target and affect others. This behavior is very dangerous, especially within the survival of the state and unitary state of the Republic of Indonesia.
We can take the point that the bottom line is that social media is a big part of our day-to-day life, and there is no point of keeping it away from the education process. School, college, and university staff should be encouraged to make use of technology for students and parent communication. And this could easily turn into an argumentative issue topic for college. But the benefits are obvious, starting with healthier parent-teacher relationship and all the way to permanently changing the way our children will learn. Laurie Webb is a content writer who is interested in a wide range of areas from education and online marketing to entrepreneurship. She is also an aspiring tutor striving to bring education to another level like we all do. If you are interested in writing, you can find her on Twitter or Google, or find her on other social media. Read and take over Doris' insight.
I do not agree with Ramli's opinion because different is ownership of social, economic, and cultural capital can trigger violent behavior. In addition, the culture of violence in the mass media, newspaper, TV, internet, and social media is also factored in the recurrence of violence. There are indications that in recent years, people have been increasingly involved in various types of illegal cases. Various mass media reported that it was not only people in the city who become victims or targets of crime, but many people as people in various remote villages became perpetrators. Violence against other communities is usually triggered by various factors. On the one of the factors that often triggers people to commit violence behavior is the increasing and uncontrollable influence of the development of information technology, films, and social media. I don't think so with your statement. The violence in media will cause violence in society because I think the media can be give us useful content for us in society, and I agree with Maria's statement that there is in media can be, give us education. For example, like Wikipedia, Ramli, and YouTube channel like Kodisa, and many other YouTube channels can give us useful content. What I want to say is, if you have good environment and good relation or friend, you are not being rude person and makes violence in your society. But if you have a bad environment and bad relation of friends, you will be a bad person, rude person, and make violence in society. I agree with the opinion because as we know that media social has a central role in the daily life of society. And then not all of the media social can give good education. Good or bad media has a great effect on society's behavior. A number of studies show that children and society who watch violent videos, the appears on televisions, movies, videos, games, cell phones, and the internet are failures to acts of violence. Especially in children, the media are more likely to experience increased feeling of hostility, decreased emotional responses to depictions of violence that lead to violent behavior or the imitation process. The acts of imitation, what they see on television, endures themselves or others around them. So I think by knowing the dangers of cause of violence in the media and children abroad, society has development the role families in the controlling media consumptions in children is very important. The part of parents and paying more attention to their children as well as fight education on the use of positive media. I disagree with the government because Ministry of Political, Legal and Security Affairs, Oka Prawira, said that in the era of globalization, the media has become a tool of social control and the fourth pillar of democracy, where the press freedom is used as a measuring tool to see the democratization of country. That I agree with the previous opinion, so clearly opinion earlier, and the last it depends on the victim's understanding in in dealing with violence. Maybe that's it. Thank you.
Congratulations for completing this round. Every side of the house have performed what she's supposed to perform as a speaker and as a team. So now I will read the conclusion of each argument you have given. Arfa's argument is that doesn't agree with Ulfah's opinion because in her perspective, social media has a dark side that are being a place for sending bullying message and something like that, and then social media can be place for spread public provocation. Justice argument is a number of studies show that children or society who watch violence videos in several media are vulnerable to acts violence. The point of Ramli's argument is doesn't agree with the argument from Arfa because in his perspective, social media is a source of education that is able to build intelligent human research. Dewi's argument is that violence is a form of coercion and domination, and violence in media is become so easy to enter the people way thinking. Even argument is his doesn't agree with this motion because in his perspective, the media can give us useful content for us in society by share useful information. And then, according to him, violence can occur because it is caused by bad environment, friend, and relation. Well, the argument from Bias is doesn't agree with Ramley's opinion because differences in ownership, social, economic, and cultural capital can trigger violent behavior. And then Ulfa's argument is she doesn't agree with this motion because, in her opinion, social media is social with each other and done online, which allows a place a well formed community, and we as users are able to control ourselves so as not to fall into negative things. And then the last argument is from Sam. In his perspective, something is declared violent depending on how the victim understands in responding to news or comments in media. Okay, after watching and provide observation on this debate, which is the motion is this house believes that too much violence in media causes violence in society. So the winner is Ivan and Sam team as opposition team with a perfect score A because first, they create a new statement that firmly reject the motion. Second, they use point of view from ministry, political, legal, and society affair as reference. In the other side, government team by Diaz is good enough. She mentioned a number of studies, but unfortunately, she did not specify which research and carried out by what institution.